Jobs are going to be in the summer. Good morning, Robin. Thank you. For our group, we will not be sharing screen.
Hey guys, how are you? Hi everybody. Thank you, Destiny, for the good morning. Really quickly, we're going to give you just a few minutes to kind of get familiar with sharing the screen or whatever. If your group's not doing that, no problem. But that way you kind of have that setup process taken care of. I also want to make you aware that if your group is not presenting, what you should be doing is taking notes on the groups that are presenting. So for example, if you're in the group that's going tomorrow, you're going to take notes on all three of the groups. If you're in one of the groups that's presenting, so let's just say you're in the AOC group, then you would be taking notes on the Tom Holland and the Meghan Markle presentations. And what you're taking notes on is to give feedback to the group and feedback to the individuals who present. So at the very end, for you to get some class participation points today, you'll go into the discussions tab and you'll post your feedback on the people that presented. So for example, if you are in the AOC group, you should be giving feedback to the media group who's going to kind of do the layout of today. And you'll give feedback to Tom Holland and Meghan Markle under that discussions tab. If you're in the Tom Holland group, then you're doing every group except for your group. And so it's just giving student feedback on the presentations that you see, what you liked. It doesn't have to be very long at all, just a couple of sentences for each person and each group. And then you'll just submit that to get points later on. So any questions before we get started?
Yes. Are there specific things you're looking for as far as the feedback?
Well, just kind of like things that you liked and things that you felt, like, so for example, if you see a lot of reading or, there's no eye contact with the camera, then you might say, it would have been nice to, have you speak to us more conversationally or, feel like you were making a connection with us. But I loved all your research and, the organization of your speech. So that might be some feedback that you give. Or you might say, I really loved, how slow your delivery was and how easy it was to connect with, but you didn't have a good attention getter. You just went right into your subject. And I feel like that was missing from your presentation. So whatever you want to offer is totally up to you. But you're going to just submit feedback for each individual person. And then the group, so for example, if the group is really great and organized, you'd write, wonderful organization, really easy to follow. I liked how creative you were. If the group, needed to practice a little bit more, you might say that. All that stuff is just free game.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And the way that you get attendance credit today is by having your camera on and your mic on mute unless you're speaking. And so throughout the day, I'll be taking some screenshots, and those screenshots are what I'll use to give audience participation. The way that we have live speeches count is to have a live audience. So please make sure your camera's on. If you can't have it on, you can still make points, but it won't be as much as the class participation points. Because the way that you would make points is just by your student speech critiques, but you will not get full credit if you don't have your camera on. Okay, so I am going to stop there. The other thing I will say is I am recording today's session. I will post it tomorrow. So if you don't, take notes and you want to just watch this later because you want to focus on your presentation today, that's fine. You could watch it later and then give feedback. You'll have until Sunday night at midnight to turn in your student feedback on the presentations. Okay. Any questions about anything that I've discussed? Nope. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to let the media group take over, and I can't wait to see your presentation.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so we're gonna start. So who would have thought that after going through a worldwide pandemic, we would be here today trying to choose our next candidate for president? A lot of people have been waiting for this, so let us get started, and let me start by introducing myself. My name is Norma Minguela, and I am from the media group. Today, I will be introducing our media group members, what information we are sharing, and the debate requirements. As the media group, our job is to inform the public by providing a platform for the political candidates to communicate their message to the electorate, and by allowing the parties and candidates to debate with each other, and by reporting results and monitoring vote counting. The task of the media, especially national media outlets, is not and should not function as a mouthpiece for any government body or particular candidate. Its basic role is to enlighten and educate the public and act as a natural objective platform for the free debate of all points of view. Our media group members will cover different topics such as voting history done by Brianna Ojeda and voting laws done by Anaya Martin, who will also help us introduce the candidates to us. So now that you know our role as the media group, here are the requirements that you individually and as a group must meet. Individually, you must meet the requirements of 3 minutes. Be audible and visible in a worldly environment. So if you're not already meeting these requirements, please make sure that you do so now. Make sure that your pin and crest is visible throughout the whole debate, and don't be shy to represent your candidate. As a group, you must include a hashtag and a slogan. And don't forget the importance of promoting your candidate, which can be done through arguing why they are the better choice and critiquing the other candidates. But remember, keep it professional, respectful, and relevant. Don't forget that we are still in a classroom setting. Lastly, remember to present us with a quote, joke, or a combination of both. Today, I introduce our media group members, what information we are sharing, and the debate requirements. So by now you know who we are and what we expect from each group. Remember, your goal is to convince us why we should vote for you. Even though we have experienced a worldwide pandemic, we are still strong in numbers and in unity. We are still participating in our democracy by electing our next president. Now I will leave you with this quote from former President Barack Obama. Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we have been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. Now I will leave you with Brianna Ojeda, who will talk about voting history and introduce the first candidate.
Did you know one of the greatest privileges of being a United States citizen is being able to vote? Hello, 2024 presidential candidates and voters. My name is Brianna Ojeda, and I am a member of the 2024 Media Group. I am here to give you a recap of the voting history in the United States. Being able to vote and who will be our political representatives, voting allows the people to be involved, take action, and make a difference in society. Voting gives you the ability to have the power of change, make your mark, and voice your opinion. The United States allows its citizens to have a say in who shall run the country for 4 years. It is up to the people to put somebody in there that will be beneficial to the United States. Although one might think voting has been open to all U.S. citizens, sadly, it wasn't always like that. In 1776, only white men ages 21 and older who owned land were able to vote. How would you feel knowing only wealthy white men were able to make the decision of who would be your president? At the time, people may not have thought of this as a big deal, but gradually, over time, more citizens wanted the ability to vote. At the time, in 1886, the 14th Amendment passed, granting all men born in the United States citizenship rights and voting rights. At the time, it was normal for all men to be the voice and in charge. Overall, luckily, in 1920, women gained the right to vote. What a relief that now everybody in the United States who is a citizen has the right to vote and voice their opinion. Additionally, since voting became open to all citizens, there have been many memorable elections. In 1984, Ronald Reagan was re-elected president. He had won 49 out of 50 states. What a phenomenal victory. He was originally elected president from 1981 to 1985, when he ran again for president, and the people wanted Ronald Reagan for another 4 years. In 1992, third-party candidate and self-made billionaire Rose Pita, a resident of Texas, won 19% of all popular votes. The people had never witnessed this be done before. Without a doubt, the year 2020 was a year to remember for all of us. A year of a pandemic, chaotic election, and a number-breaking participation during the voting. The 2020 election had 66.3% of the eligible population cast a ballot. The people wanted their voices to be heard. They wanted someone to help them, and they needed a leader. As we all know, voting wasn't always accessible to everyone in our country. We've had the tainted past of restricting women and minorities from voting in our presidential elections. Even with the 13th Amendment being ratified after the Civil War, constitutionally guaranteeing African Americans the right to vote, they were still met with systematic obstacles. Southern states continuously made efforts to restrict them from gaining access to voting pools. They implemented literacy tests and ballot taxes. That alone discouraged multiple people to want to vote. But with the help of American hero like Martin Luther King Jr., these struggles ignite their fire to fight back. The systematic discrimination designed to break them down. Martin Luther King Jr., he had many peaceful sit-in protests, group marches, and the famous I Have a Dream speech given to the American people. Unfortunately, it took a life to encourage the law to help Black Americans. It took the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. to encourage American lawmakers to finally bring forth the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Now that we've discussed who can vote, our memorable elections, and the Civil Rights Act of 1965, we are getting closer for a time of better and brighter tomorrow for you, me, and everyone. We are here to vote for our next leader to push the boundaries for everyone, to keep the spirit of accepting and including all in our society. While one of the greatest privileges of being a United States citizen is the ability to vote, many people are still unaware of how we've got to where we are today. I will now present our 2024 candidate, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, also known as AOC, who is the youngest woman to have served in the United States Congress. She has also been representing the New York's 14th Congressional District since 2019. She has worked as an intern with Ted Kennedy and an organizer for the Bernie Sanders campaign in 2016. Alexandria stands up for those in the LGBTQ community and their equality. I present to you Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Thank you. Waitress, bartender, activist, legislator. Hello, my name is Destiny Dawn, and our candidate is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I'll be introducing the rest of the group, who will discuss where she started, the issues she feels strongly about, and why she is the best candidate. Carla will be discussing her life before office. Brianna will discuss her life during office. Priscilla will be informing on some of the main issues AOC supports, and Giselle will follow up with additional information there. Finally, Will and Audrey will provide insights into her rank among some of the other candidates. So why choose AOC? Because she's rekindled hope in so many New York natives and done so while building solid experience as a leader. Before Carla lays down the platform for the foundation of our candidate, I'd like to share a quote from AOC herself that hits this point home. She once said, "Hope is not something that you have. Hope is something you create with your actions." She said, hope is something you have to manifest into the world. And once one person has hope, it can be contagious. Other people start acting in a way that has more hope. Now I'll pass the spotlight on to Carla.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Carla Reddick, and I will be discussing our Democratic candidate, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was born on October 13, 1989 in the Bronx, New York City. She is the oldest child of Bianca Ocasio-Cortez and Sergio Ocasio-Roman and has a younger brother named Gabriel. AOC lived in the Bronx neighborhood Parkchester up until the age of 5, then the family relocated to the suburbs of Yorktown Heights. In 2007, Alexandria graduated from Yorktown High School. After high school, she enrolled at Boston University, majoring in economics and international relations. While in college, AOC had the honor of interning for the late Senator Ted Kennedy, where she focused on immigration issues. Unfortunately, during her second year of college, AOC's father passed away due to lung cancer. After the death of her father, Alexandria became involved in a probate battle to settle his estate. While handling her father's affairs, Alexandria learned how to court-appointed attorneys operated in the handling of the estate cases. As Alexandria continued to intern for Senator Kennedy, She was the only Spanish-speaking person in the office that handled phone calls from Spanish-speaking individuals that will call in search of family members or loved ones detained by ICE. Alexandria graduated cum laude from Boston University in 2011 with a Bachelor's of Arts degree in both international relations and economics. After college, Alexandria moved back home and worked a few low-wage restaurant jobs to help her mother keep the family home from going into foreclosure. In 2016, AOC worked as an organizer for Bernie Sanders' presidential campaign. Also in 2016, she traveled across the country by car, visiting places like Flint, Michigan, to speak with the citizens about the water crisis and Standing Rock Indian Reservation in North Dakota. While in North Dakota, she saw firsthand how the people of the community put their lives and everything they had on the line to save and protect their community. Before witnessing all of this, AOC thought the only way a person could run for office is if they were wealthy, have social influence, and power. A day after visiting North Dakota, she received a phone call from the brand new Congress to recruit new candidates. AOC's brother, Gabriel, nominated her to brand new Congress after Election Day 2016. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is the best candidate because she comes from humble beginnings. She makes it a point to connect with the people of her community as well as other communities nationwide. And she's an advocate for women's rights and as well as the rights of minorities. Next up, I present Brianna that will be discussing AOC's life as a candidate.
Hello, my name is Brianna Castillo, and I will be discussing AOC life during office. Taking office at the age of 29, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is one of the youngest women to ever serve in the United States Congress as a U.S. representative and has made substantial impact in many ways. With over 2 million followers on Twitter, she utilizes her social media platform to inform the people. She has also become a prominent voice for the party since she's become the youngest woman elected into Congress. Adding to what Carla mentioned, Alexandria had an opportunity to work for late Senator Ted Kennedy. Her role in Kennedy's office provided a firsthand view of heartbreak on immigrant families being separated by ICE. Alexandria worked in Kennedy's Foreign Affairs and Immigration Consultant Office, receiving phone calls from immigrants who came home to their family members missing. I believe immigrants should be seen in one of two ways, almost like a lens. One, foreign policy, and two, criminal justice, or treat immigrants as a foreign policy. Not all families come to the United States because they feel like it. They come because of global trade deals and because of economy to better themselves and their families. So Alexandria started the Embrace Act. This bill ensures that all people in need would be eligible for the largest programs of social safety net, regardless of their immigration status. We all do better when we create a society that embraces our most vulnerable population and paves a path for prosperity to all. AOC has also been fighting to help keep a pathway to citizenship for immigrants known as Dreamers on the DREAM Act, so they can finish their education here in the United States. Alexandria has become a voice for those 2.5 million Dreamers, so the TPS holders and DED beneficiaries could be eligible for permanent protection and a pathway to citizenship under the act. Alexandria also helped about 800,000 undocumented people from getting deported back to their country. After fighting for all those Dreamers, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and her House of Representative colleagues successfully got the DREAM Act and Promise Act of 2019 to pass. Cortez also believes that criminal justice reform should be rehabilitated or forgiven for crimes that are not major. Representative Ocasio-Cortez is committed to disassemble our system of mass and end the school prison pipeline, and to release an individual incarcerated for nonviolent drug offenses, cash bail, independent investigations for any individual killed by law enforcement. Alexandria also co-sponsored the Fair Chance Act, 1076, which prohibits federal agents and federal contractors from requesting applicant disclose criminal history and record information before they have received a conditional offer. Cortez continues to fight for a criminal justice system to protect the rights and liberties of all individuals. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is a major influence to many people because she expresses the resilience to aim for ideas she believes in and is striving to change and better this country. Now I will pass it on to Priscilla.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Priscilla, and I'm going to be discussing some issues of AOC. Everything AOC is doing is for a better future in our country. Cortez believes that every person in America should have access to healthcare. It is a human right, and she will continue to fight for every person to have access to high quality and constant care. The reason for that is because Cortez believes that low income should be treated with equal rights, such as high income people. Everyone deserves a good life here in America. AOC is already making a better change for all Americans by holding lives on social media, being on the news, and talking about the changes that are happening because of us people supporting her, which she's really proud of. She is ready for a change just as everyone else is. Cortez says that all the changes that she hopes to do one day are going to make a better change for this country. She'll try to do her best, and also us people, to make it possible for us supporting her, such as healthcare changes, education, housing, and immigration, and many more to accomplish for them in the future, because we are the future. Cortez is the candidate that we need for a better future in this country, because we all deserve to be like all Americans should be treated with equal rights, and no one else should feel like they are not treated the same as everyone else. And now to Giselle, that will be discussing some issues of Cortez.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Giselle Harvin, and I will be talking about why you should vote for AOC. What do you want in your president? Is it lower taxes, better economy, better education? Personally, what I want from a candidate is somebody that's going to make the right decisions. Somebody that's going to make the hard decisions that not everybody wants to make. Somebody that's going to make the best decisions for all people. A strong president that is for their people, listens to their people. AOC is that candidate. AOC is very present on social media. She actually holds 45 minutes to an hour-long live streams on Instagram. She answers competing questions about topics that are challenging and are hard to find the information on. As she says, on the job congressional updates. AOC is using social media to her advantage in a way that government officials have never had before. She's truly connecting with the people and trying to get everyone to understand what's really going on. We've never had a candidate that truly has cared like this and has been trying to fix the trust within our country. We need someone that's going to make these changes. Not to mention, AOC is already an elected official, making her the most credible candidate. She knows the ins and outs of politics, and her experiences will help her in the presidency. Why would we want a candidate with no experience? Not to mention, AOC's strongest suit is that she is ready for change and reform. She understands the changes that we need to make are going to affect the future of our country. She understands that we need the new Green Deal to save our planet. And she understands that we need better education to fuel our youth in the right direction. And she understands that police brutality is affecting our minorities and that we need to make a change, and so many other issues. She will take us head on into these problems. AOC is the change we need and the change we deserve. And now pass the spotlight to Audrey, where she will be offering some critique on Tom Holland. Audrey.
Hi, my name is Audrey Bradford, sorry, and I'll be providing some critiques on one of our fellow candidates. And so with that, I'll tell you that Tom Holland is many things, but the perfect candidate for the US presidency is not one of them. AOC is the far better candidate for the job, and I'm about to tell you why Tom Holland isn't. So for starters, he's British. He was born and raised in the UK, and which would most likely make him unfamiliar with American affairs outside of the box office, of course. And as a British citizen, he is not an American one, and he doesn't have dual citizenship for England and here, which would probably complicate things when it comes to living in the US to serve in office. And we as voters don't know where his loyalties lie, whether it's here in America or in his homeland. And that could also cause issues when it comes to deciding which country he's loyal to. AOC, on the other hand, was born and raised in the USA, more specifically the Bronx, and is a citizen, which can reassure voters that she is loyal to her country and is the loyal candidate for the job. In addition to that, Tom Holland is not old enough. He doesn't meet the age requirements for this office. At 24, he doesn't meet the age requirement of 25. And in addition to that, he plays a teenager in his most prolific role in his movies of Spider-Man, which is not a very good look for someone who is going to take on the mantle as daunting as the executive office. At 24, he also has significantly less life experience than some of his older counterparts in this candidacy, specifically AOC, who is 31, so she meets the age requirement, and is a respectable United States representative and has been since 2018. In addition to this, Tom Holland is an actor, not a politician, and his education is in performing arts, not in political science or international affairs or any other sort of major that could provide him some insight for this daunting task. And I'm not saying that a non-politician can't be president. I am just saying that we all remember what happened last time when someone who wasn't politically experienced took office. In addition to this, he's a wealthy A-list actor with a net worth of $15 million, which would put a significant divide between him and the lower and middle class that he would be legislating for. AOC, on the other hand, has been serving in Congress since 2018, has an educational emphasis in international affairs and economics, a double major, and she was a bartender and waitress before she served her office. So while Tom is a gifted actor, gymnast, and humanitarian, he does not have what it takes to lead this great country. AOC is the obvious choice. And with that, will now move on to give another critical critique of another one of our counterparts. Thank you.
Hello, I'll be critiquing the Republican candidate, Melissa Joan Hart, and in comparison to her stance with AOC. Melissa Joan Hart has never ran for office and does not have the experience AOC has, and does not hold the policies that would benefit the American people. Melissa Joan Hart, respectively, does have the most liberal program of any Republican in recent history. However, we believe it does not go far enough. It has been in history shows it is progressives that have taken America and in hard times and bring us to a better state, such as Teddy Roosevelt or Franklin D. Roosevelt after the Great Depression. AOC has served in New York as a congressman for 4 years, while Melissa Joan Hart has never served office, does not hold the experience, and has never written a bill on any form of policy. When it comes to policy, Melissa Joan Hart has not proposed anything to better the lives of Americans. She has proposed that she is for gun control and for pro-choice, but has not proposed anything to do with bettering the lives as in childcare or access to college post high school. Melissa Joan Hart has also not put forward any plan on climate change, while AOC has had years of activism in things such as free affordable healthcare, free college or affordable college for those past high school, as well as the Green New Deal. In the 1930s, President Roosevelt proposed the New Deal, a plan that proposed infrastructure and funding for decades to come that shaped our nation the way it is. Could you imagine our nation without the international highway system? These types of mass investments only come when times are in strain, like now during the pandemic. Now is the time for a huge investment into our future. Just as the New Deal did in the past, it is time for a new Deal. And only a progressive will push for this. Thank you. I will be handing this off to Destiny to continue for our conclusion.
Yes, thank you, Will. To reiterate some of our main points, AOC is a native to the US. She has education and experience in economics and foreign affairs, and she has visited people impacted to share support, to gain insights, and connect with them. She also supports providing a social safety net, and she is actively engaging the community in online platforms. She's ready for that positive change. And as you heard from Will and Audrey, the other candidates just don't quite stack up. So keep in mind also the ideas she is actively supporting that were previously mentioned in the Great Debate, such as assisting those struggling financially through the COVID pandemic and supporting action that keeps cases low. Also, please keep in mind, as stated before, hope is something that you create with your actions. Thank you all for listening to us today.
Thank you guys. You all did a very good job and provided a lot of information about your candidate. Now I would like to transition and discuss voting laws with you guys. Did you know that everyone in the United States was not aware of the requirements you had to meet to be able to vote? Hi, my name is Naya and I'm a member of the media group. Today I will be discussing with you the current voting laws / requirements in the US for a person to be able to vote. These include a person's age, citizenship status, criminal history, and the ways that you can vote in today's age, especially in this pandemic. Age is an important factor when it comes to voting in our country. The law states that an individual must specifically be at least 18 by the time they vote or older. You're able to pre-register to vote at 16 or 17, and if you do, you'll automatically be registered to vote on your 18th birthday. Another requirement that needs to be met to be able to vote is citizenship. In the United States, the law requires every person who votes to legally be a citizen in America. This can be achieved by being born in the US or obtaining a citizenship status through taking the written and naturalization tests. Here in California, there are handfuls of centers that assist immigrants with becoming a US citizen, such as the USCIS California Service Center, USCIS Santa Ana Field Office, and more. Additionally, those who have a criminal record, specifically those who have committed felonies, are barred from ever voting again. This is better known as felony disenfranchisement. This suspension differs from state to state, and in the District of Columbia, Maine, and Vermont, felons actually never lose the right to vote, even while they are incarcerated. However, in 11 states, felons lose their voting rights indefinitely for committing crimes such as burglary, arson, aggravated assault with weapon, and more. Some require a governor's pardon in order for voting rights to be restored. Others face additional waiting periods after completion of sentence or require an additional action before voting rights can be restored as well. If you're permitted to vote, there are multiple ways to get your vote in. One way is by voting in person. Although we do not encourage this as we are still in a pandemic, but if you must, be sure to wear a mask and stand 6 feet apart from others. If you don't like waiting until November 4th to vote, you can cast your vote in through a process called early voting. Finally, another way to vote is through mail. This is pretty self-explanatory. And actually, did you know that 20% of votes in the 2020 election were sent in by mail? To be more specific, that's 1.32 million people who mailed in their votes. To conclude, we have discussed the voting laws in the United States, specifically the requirements pertaining to age, citizenship status, and criminal history, and additionally discussed ways to vote for the next election. As we have stated previously, some Americans are familiar with the voting laws / requirements necessary to vote, but not all. So by discussing them with you, We hope we are able to educate more people. With that, I will be presenting to you Tom Holland, a heroic English actor. He supports the Black Lives Matter movement, the LGBTQ community, and the nonprofit organization, The Brothers Trust, which helps host charity events. Tom Holland is known for using his platform to shine a light on small charity issues that need exposure, awareness, and more support. Additionally, he is involved in many charities, hosts events to raise money for those in need, and is involved in many centers for kids and veterans who are now ill. Please give it up for Tom Holland.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Trenton, and me and my colleagues have made a presentation for Tom Holland. To start off, our hashtag was Equality with Holland, and our slogan is "With great power comes great responsibility." And for a slight introduction on Tom, Tom is a man that is admired throughout the world for his heroics on screen and through his nonprofit organizations. He has made dreams come true for numerous adults and especially kids. He believes that the future lies in the kids and wants to start with giving a better future for them with equality. With that being said, he wants to face a new challenge as your actual hero and become the president of the United States. Tom's biggest objective through all of this is to fight for equality. For all he knows, this isn't an easy battle. He's ready to face it head on. Tom will always be for the people, no matter the adversity he faces throughout this challenge. Sorry, my throat got a little. Tom's he promises to remain true to himself for the better of the people, for generations and so on. Unlike other candidates who have personal agendas, Tom will bring power and resources needed for this uphill battle that has been long overdue. And to pass it on to my colleague, Selena.
Hi, everyone. My name is Selena, and I will be talking about the history of Tom Holland. Some history on him was he was born the 1st of June, 1996 in London, England. Tom attended 2 colleges. The first one was Brit School in London, and he did graduate from that. And then before that, he attended Wimbledon College, which he also graduated from. In 2008, that's when Holland began his acting career in musical. An actual fun fact is Tom absolutely loves to dance. In 2012, he finally got his breakthrough from the movie The Impossible. Then in 2015, he was announced to be Spider-Man. Since being Spider-Man and all his recognition, he started to use his platform for good. All he does is spread kindness, love, laughter, support, and happiness to everyone around him, even to those far from him. He started to win awards and for his movies. Then shortly after, he started to create charities to help others in need. You see, Tom Holland is a person who cares and supports his community that he lives in, even though he was not born in. And he is not afraid to stand up for people whenever they're needed to be. And that's what makes somebody truly an American hero. And I will now pass this on to Mia.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mia Valdez, and I will be representing our candidate, Tom Holland. My discussion will be his accomplishments. So first off, he's young and successful. He started his acting career around when he was 12, which when it launched. He has used his platform for several charities, several events, and being young and successful, we all know that's no easy task, but yet he has strived for doing better. And in his debut and super hit movies, in every single event or interview, he acknowledges that he knows that he's not the best, or that he has some work to do, but there's always room for improvement, and he's always looking to strive for better and for those around him. He's a family man, so he has put everything he has before him for his family, and he has little brothers, of which he got together with them and created a brothers charity, which is called the Brothers Trust. It was founded by Tom Holland, and he has encouraged his family and his brothers to join him. So by being such a famous actor worldwide, he has used his platform to open the hearts of everybody through his charities. And with everything going on, especially with the coronavirus, you would think that this would have stopped him, but it hasn't. It has actually encouraged him to go virtual in several matters and gather multiple celebrities during this time of need. he will, he will do multiple events, and none of them have been, or a majority of them that have been in person, have got the rodent test, and he has encouraged everybody to wear their mask and social distance because he wouldn't want to harm his family or his friends. Another one would be with his brother Trust. It started up in 2017 and has founded over millions of dollars of funds. And this is done because he has extended his platform not only in the United States, but worldwide. He has done it in Africa and Asia, and which he reaches through being such an American hero as Spider-Man. The Trust shines light on the charities who struggle to be heard and noisy and competitive for the nonprofit sector, and charities who can best demonstrate the most effective use of funds and profit to people in need. And he does not bloat his administration. They are very fortunate to have such high supporters and that make regular contributions. He is also, our next section would be his awards at a young age, which would be the BAFTA Rising Star Award, Empire Award for Best Male Newcomer, Team's Choice Award for Choice Summer Movie Star Male, People's Choice Award for Favorite Movie Star, and Kids' Choice Award for Favorite Superhero. With these awards, he has shown that he's a man of the people, and with his recognition, he also has addressed and took the time to roam his platform, because many of you may not know, but Tom Holland was a little boy that was bullied severely during his time in school, which very discouraged him from even entering the platform and his acting career. He was bullied because he was a gymnast and because he had a creativity mind. He was bullied all the way up until high school, but this never stopped him from striving for better, and he is now an activist for bullying. Because of this, he has acknowledged that many of his awards and nominations came from a film, which took courage to do. He won a total of 9 previous awards and has shined light on any children that are pursuing their acting career and has encouraged many others. With his platform, he visits hospitals and children across the state and has also done it worldwide. He does this because there was a moment in when he visited a hospital in Idaho and he came out with shaving his head. Many people didn't agree, but he did not care because this was due to support the children in need there and to show his support. He is also an activist in several manners, but one of the main activists would be that he is a pit bull activist. In the UK, pit bulls are banned, in which he has showed that aggression does not represent anybody. And he has done this not only through being an animal activist, but also a human activist due to racism and the platform that he stands, and he stands up for all. He uses his advocate for animals and pit bulls to not only do pit bull activists because he also owns one. He has done this for shelters and dog rescues, and not only cares for all children, adults, humans, he also cares for animals and this also shows that he is a man of the people, and not only a man of the people, but a hero to America by producing Spider-Man. And yes, it is true that he is a teen portrayal and everything, but he has done more work than adults have worldwide. So with this matter, being Spider-Man, and not only concluding to just kids, he also does it to adults and veterans and the elderly, in which all age group he supports. By being the favorite superhero and being Tom Holland, he has addressed the situation and knows, yes, he may be young, but he has done so much more simply by his age, and he is only striving for better. So next, I will be introducing Miracles, who will be discussing why he's better. And
hi, my name is Miracles Torres. I'll be talking about why Tom Holland is better. Well, to start off, he's a friendly guy that gets along with everyone he meets. He's a people person. He cares about people all ages, and you could tell because in 2017, he visits a children's hospital dressed as Spider-Man. So the younger audience looks up to him. He is very close to his family. He is the oldest of 3 brothers, and because of that, he says it inspires him to always be caring, kind, and humble. He is very outgoing and a brave person because he would do ballet, and some people think that wasn't cool. That shows he doesn't care what people thought of him. It only made him stronger. He's more than just an actor. He likes to have fun, and who wouldn't want a president that's fun and caring for his people? Now I will pass it on to Edward. Thank you.
My name is Edward, and I will be critiquing about the other candidates who are also running for the presidential candidate. So let's start off with Alexandria with AOC. First of all, she's not Spider-Man, so she's not as popular. And other candidates such as Meghan Markle or Melissa Joan Hart have other controversies with like Meghan Markle with her wedding and royalty status with the royal family in England, or with Melissa Joan Hart with her controversy with her being an anti-Semite, which is how she has spoken with some of the other mothers who have with some of the mothers who have talked with their children before at school. Tom Holland also provides kids with hope in his awareness for charity with visits and financially. And I'll be passing it on to Gabriella.
Hello, everyone. I'm Gabriela Soto, and I'll be speaking on why he's trustworthy. So Tom Holland started his career, he started getting interested in obviously acting, as everyone knows, in 2006. In 2017, he received the British Academy Award, which is known as BAFTA, and that shows how dedicated he is, and it shows how passionate he is for his work. He also did the Brothers Trust, founded by Tom Holland, his brothers, who raised his funds and brought a voice to those charities that struggle to be heard. And this charity supports people in need and makes them be able to have their voices more heard. And in spring 2020, Tom Holland supported the Black Lives Matter movement. And this shows that he believes in treating people equally. In 2021, he made an effort to understand and get educated by his latest film, Cherry. He spent time with veterans at a treatment addiction center to learn at their stories pertaining to the opioid crisis. He stated that he saw this as an opportunity to take being a role model to a new level on showing young kids that this is going on. For him participating in this, it shows that he cares for the world and becoming a healthier and better environment. And for that on, I will be passing it on to Trenton.
My colleagues presented a lovely presentation on our candidate and why he will be the best president to step into office for generations to come. Tom's main purpose will always be to chase equality. For all he believes, every single person should be seen as equal and should have the same opportunities as a person next to them, and so on. And remember, Tom will always be a people person first. No matter what adversity comes his way, he will never shy away from any battle, unlike other candidates who aren't necessarily prepared for these battles. At the end of the day, we as colleagues know Tom is the right choice for the people, but now it's your time to realize no candidate will fight for you the way Tom will. And that concludes our presentation.
Thank you. And thank you guys for all the information. Finally, our candidate, Meghan Markle, a 39-year-old advocate for women. She has been involved in the women's political participation and leadership since 2015. Meghan Markle was the first person to vote in the U.S. election from the royal family. She holds a communications degree from Northwestern University. She supports many amazing organizations such as Child HIV Association's Crisis, Mina Mahila Foundation, Scotty's Little Soldiers, Street Games, Surfers Against Sewage, and so much more. I now present to you Meghan Markle.
Good morning. And my name is Karen Mendoza, and I will be presenting this presentation on the behalf of our candidate, Meghan Markle. Now, the United States needs your vote. And we propose that Meghan Markle is the best candidate for president that the United States deserves. Now, today I will be discussing about our party, why the change in administration would help, and why Meghan is the president that we need now. To begin, to introduce our party, Meghan Markle is neither left or right, but for everyone. This is a president that will cater to the needs of all American people instead of catering to just one specific demographic of Democrat or Republican. Now, the change in administration would cause a change that is necessary to lead us in the right direction, especially now in the United States with our political frenzy in a separation of people who are not united, but separated through who is now president. Now, the people need to be, again, united, not separated by party bias, and Meghan Markle would be the perfect person to unite us all. Now, why is Meghan Markle the president we need? Well, in the new growing generation, who want a president who not only just makes promises, but who takes action with these promises, instead of just creating empty words that have no effect. Now, to conclude, I want to present what we will be discussing in the presentation, which would be Meghan's core values, strategies in office, international diplomacy experience, the international, and what sets us apart from other candidates. Now, with our core values is Eduardo.
Thank you. So, good morning. My name is Eduardo Chavez. I will be going over the core values of our candidate, Meghan Markle. Since Meghan was a young girl, she knew that there was no age requirements for activism. Throughout her career, Meghan has always made activism a top priority of hers. Markle served the United Nations as the women's advocate for women's political participation and for women's political leadership. Markle would visit refugee camps and would meet women around the world who are also making positive changes within their communities. Meghan calls for women to see their value as leaders. Meghan refutes the idea that women need to find their voices, unquote. Instead, she wants to remind women that they have their voices. They only need to use them. Meghan wants to build the self-esteem of young women to encourage these young leaders to speak up and take leadership roles. As of Meghan Markle's education, she attended Immaculate Heart High School, a Catholic independent college preparatory school. Finishing the high school led her to attend the Northwest School of Communication, which then Meghan graduated with a bachelor's degree as a double major in theater and international studies. In 2002, she went to Madrid as a part of a 3-month program offered by IES Abroad, which is the Institute of International Education of Students. It's a nonprofit organization that administers study abroad programs for U.S. college-age students. Meghan Markle was in Buenos Aires, Argentina, at the time in 2002 of their economic devaluation. Meghan Markle would be with, at the time, a U.S. Secretary of Treasury by the name of Paul O'Neill, who was also in Argentina with her. She remembers being just 20 years old, riding in the motorcades with Paul O'Neill, thinking that she would for sure have a career in politics. Meghan was there for Argentina's harsh economic time. Meghan was there, was most likely had front row seats at real attempts made by the government to salvage Argentina's economy. Even though Markle was only an intern for a few months, it appears that civic involvement in tracking important social issues were always important aspects of her life. There are many core values that our candidate Megan has, such that these core values will help her have some strategies once she's in office. And now we'll be passing it to Edgar.
Hello. Um, I will be discussing how Megan will help our domestic problems in our country once in office. The first issue is something that she's been through her life, which is police issues. She says the only wrong thing to say is to say nothing, because George Floyd's life mattered, and so did so many other people whose names we know and whose names we do not know. Training is often cited as a way to reduce racial bias among police officers and encourage de-escalation. These training methods have evidence to back them up. The first thing that should happen once she's elected, instead of defunding the police, like some say, we should increase the budget and training. Megan was part of the LA riots in the 90s when she was 7 years old. I remember how scared she was seeing buildings on fire and riots, which is why she is dedicated to solving equality issues. Some things she would do in helping our police force include tracking complaints, more restrictive laws governing the force, and more non-police organizations to respond to emergencies. Another topic that she's close to is hunger. Ending hunger and achieving universal food security is one of the biggest challenges the world faces today, with over 600 million people currently undernourished. People going hungry in America aren't lazy, they are poor. They simply do not earn enough to feed their families. Megan has the solutions to help with that. One thing to do is improve government income support programs for struggling families. For example, Megan and her husband, Harry, created a nonprofit organization called Archewell after their son, and even forged a partnership with the food relief charity World Central Kitchen to provide funding to construct 4 special community relief centers. More things that needs to be done is strengthen the child nutrition program and target supports to vulnerable populations. Megan has always been about helping those who suffer from hunger, as her and her husband even arranged for money generated from their wedding broadcast to go towards feeding hungry children during the coronavirus pandemic. Megan says that the health of our communities depends on our ability to connect to our shared humanity. These are uncertain times, and now more than ever, we need each other. We need each other for truth, for support, and to feel less alone during a time that can honestly feel quite scary, she wrote. We need to fund further research on the virus and come up with a vaccine that will have 100% no side effects, unlike the ones right now. Also, keep social distancing, and we'll be able to open everything up for the public if everything does their part. And our candidate isn't only perfect to help us domestically here, but also to help us when it comes to international affairs, which is how I pass it on to Rob.
Hello, I'm Rob, and I'll be talking about international affairs. Our candidate is not only a good choice for the United States, but a worldwide recognized diplomatic figure. This means that she's uniquely qualified to represent our nation on the world stage. Meghan Markle was a global ambassador for World Vision, the world's largest international children's charity, from 2016 to 2017. She traveled to Rwanda in early 2016 with World Vision to support efforts of bringing clean water to remote and impoverished villages. Working with World Vision, she also spent time advocating for women's rights and helped in efforts to destigmatize women's medical needs for younger girls in places where hundreds of millions of girls ages 12 to 14 have been made to drop out of school due to the cultural stigma attached to menstruation. These are only a few of the international charity organizations our candidate has been a part of. As a recent addition to the British royal family, Ms. Markle has dealt with leadership on the highest level and proven time and again to be a force to be reckoned with. Pulling no punches on the international stage, our candidate famously called out members of her own newly married into family on issues from sexual impropriety to workplace abuse, as well as handling myriad rumors and manufactured scandals by the international press. She has been unafraid to call out injustice at the highest levels, even at the cost of her own social status. In her royal duties as Duchess, she was a patron of the National Theatre and the Association of Commonwealth Universities, before coming back to the States to focus on her outreach here. As an actress and model, Meghan has negotiated with top Hollywood agents and lawyers on financial and contractual arrangements, proving yet again that she has what it takes to stand up to the hardball tactics in Washington. Without these skills, she would have been washed away in the sea of talent that floods Los Angeles year after year. A standout performer, our candidate is not shy about putting her foot down on behalf of her fellow citizens and herself. Universally liked and famously outspoken, she became a voice for justice during the Me Too movement. As president, Meghan Markle will bring this skill and experience to the world stage. Her love for her country is unmatched, and her disdain for corruption is enviable. Not only does she have the passion and drive to deal with other world leaders, but she has also spent a lifetime displaying the compassion this country needs to move forward into a brighter future. Having volunteered in soup kitchens on Skid Row from the age of 13, Meghan is no stranger to putting herself directly in the chain of command to help her compatriots. Unlike her opponents, our candidate has a vast array of experience to rival even the most seasoned of ambassadors. But it's not just the diplomatic experience that makes our candidate unique. To tell you more about that, I will pass you on to Nicole.
Hi everyone, I'm Nicole and I'll be going over what sets our candidate apart from the others. Our candidate, Meghan Markle, is the candidate you want to support. Compared to most of the other candidates, she is older. She is 39, while Alexandria is 31 and Tom is 24. This makes her have more experience when it comes to living more and being able to see what has to change in the world. She has also seen what works and what doesn't for the US. Meghan is an activist for many corporations like gender equality, female education, global poverty, and many more. She's also been a women's advocate for women's political participation and leadership since 2015, which shows that she does have involvement with politics and believes other women should too. Meghan also likes to be involved with her community and give back to it. She participated in the Genius Women's Shelter and Support. She is also involved with the Walker Family Events Foundation, a foundation that helps those veterans and families that are facing homelessness. She was a global ambassador for World Vision. Aside from helping the people from her community, she also has a love for animals and was a part of the Animals Welfare charity. Our candidate, Meghan Markle, has many great qualities. Now on to Diamond.
Diamond, are you there?
In conclusion, that our
Diamond, we can't. Diamond.
Meghan Markle
Diamond, we
for
can't.
president is a great option, as all of our plans could. Yeah.
We
yeah.
can't. We can't see you.
Hello.
Yeah, we can't. We
My
can't.
camera's messed up.
Okay, and we can barely hear you. It's not. The mic is not connecting.
I actually. All right. I fixed it. Can you hear me now?
I think so.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. In conclusion, we can see that our candidate, Meghan Markle for president, is a great option, as all of our plans, including our big problem today with COVID-19 and how we battle against adversity between police and citizens. Candidate strategy will prove to be more effective in office. Meghan will help the ongoing problems in our country, as seen with immigration and outside of that internationally. Also, with the experience our candidate Meghan has to offer, with diplomatic. She holds a high standard as a person. With her having the many experiences she has as a leader and her ability to perform, and thus many other things plays into why our candidate is set to outperform anyone else. And with that, I want to direct you to our social media hashtag, Marco for America, and we can all go to our social media and hashtag that. And I would like to remind you of our slogan, a leader, not a queen. And to be ending off with the quote, I'll be saying integrity is the most valuable and respected quality of leadership. Always keep your word, by Brian Tracy.
What a great debate. A lot of information was shared today. We heard from a lot of great candidates on this platform, and great points were made by candidates Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Tom Holland, and Meghan Markle. Thank you for being here on our 2024 live Vote For Us debate. I will be going over a few important pieces of information with you before we can wrap this whole thing up. Things like where you can go to vote and when the results will be available to you. Before I begin, I want to stress how important it is to vote. Please, after this is all said and done, make sure to vote for the candidate that you thought made the biggest impact today and does deserve to win. Remember, every vote counts. Let us begin. You can register your vote via Google Docs. Yes.
Hey, we're not going to give out the vote yet, where to vote, until after the presentation tomorrow. That way they can compare these three with tomorrow's, but thank you. So I will share that tomorrow at the end of tomorrow's class.
Oh, okay, sounds good.
Yep,
and
yep.
Even the dates too?
Well, you can give the dates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you will have until Sunday, May 9th until 11:59 to get your votes in. Robin will send you out all the information necessary with further instructions on where to vote later in the week. As for the results, we will announce the results in class on May 11th, so be sure to be on the lookout for the winner. And so now you know where to vote and when you can expect the results. This concludes our 2024 live Vote For Us debate. I want to thank all of our candidates for being here today and showing us why they deserve to our votes. Good luck and may the best candidate win.
Yay, great job, everybody. Good presentations today. There was some reading, but for the most part, everybody kind of had their organization strong. There was some missing attention getters. You started out with purposes a lot, but for a beginning public speaking class, that's totally normal. Lots of good eye contact with the camera and not, speed reading. So overall, really great presentations. And I already have my top three. And so I'll see where Melissa Joan Hart hits tomorrow and then put my vote in with everybody else. Whoever wins the election does not have a final. And so it's very important for those people to be competing and doing their best job tomorrow. If you attend today's and you attend tomorrow's, then tomorrow's will get you class participation credit as well as have the opportunity to give feedback. I will post this video tomorrow when I post the other video. You'll have those two videos to watch and give your feedback until Sunday night at midnight and to vote by Sunday night at midnight. So you really want to make sure that you attend tomorrow as well if possible, and if not, watch the video that I post. Finally, I want to say, if your group went today, I am going to be making live information about your final paper that's due for your group processing. So make sure that you're looking at those assignments starting tomorrow, because those assignments are the last thing that you have to do to kind of process through how the last assignment went for you as a group, the Vote For Us assignment. All right, any questions? All right, I'll see all of you tomorrow if you're able to attend. If not, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye, have a good day.
Thank you.